Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 22 of the Casual Weebs podcast, man. We had quite the week. We have some more drama, and yeah, there's a whole lot going on. So first of all, let's talk about the drama real quick, because I just found out about this, and I thought this was very interesting. The anime convention I was at, my buddies, they all went to the Goku line. I was in Luffy's line, and my buddy hit me up. He's like, "Yo, did you hear about what happened with Goku's VA? Like the next day on Sunday, because we went Saturday." I was like, "No, like what happened?" So apparently his line was so swarmed and there were so many people there, he couldn't get to everybody. He had to go. Like it was late at night. So he's like, "Hey
Oh
guys,
wow.
come back tomorrow. Hop in line. I'll get to you." You know what I mean? Well, he had to leave early Sunday to catch a flight. So a lot of the people that were waiting in Saturday's line waited in Sundays and still didn't meet him. So apparently they started cursing him out.
Oh, that's tough. I mean, I can definitely understand like being at an event that's too packed, but
Mm-hmm.
that sucks. I mean, everybody wants to meet Goku's VA, but definitely wouldn't want to like. It's not his fault. He's on time constraints. Definitely
Yeah.
wouldn't want to make it, his fault.
I
That
mean,
does suck though.
the one side where I can see where the people are coming from is that like if you tell people from Saturday to come Sunday, close off the line, make sure the people Saturday are there first, and you get through them all before you let anybody else in. You know what I mean? I don't know how many people there were. I don't know if people was for that came Sunday got mixed in with them, and the line was still really big, or what, or if he was just looking at the people Saturday still and only them, and he just couldn't get to them. But like if that was the case, like then I can understand why they're frustrated. But like to like curse out the VA and kind of like how he can't help it. Like did he leave early? Sunday. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. All I'm saying is that just kind of shows the Dragon Ball community. I don't know what else to say. A lot of my friends like to drink that Dragon Ball juice, that punch,
E-
and like I don't
Everybody
know.
was super upset. Like the convention I went to recently in Philly, Chris Sabat, Vegeta's voice actor,
Mhm.
pulled out like a couple days before. So we were all like super bummed because we wanted to meet him. But I'm sure it would have been a similar situation because there was just so many people there. It would be tough to see how they would make it through in a day. But yeah, definitely a bummer.
Don't meet Dragon Ball VAs because that's Super 3 now. My buddy, he was the one who went and met what's the his kid's name?
Gohan?
Yeah, he met Gohan's VA, and it was a horrible experience. She sold him this fucked up whatever called the little statue thingy.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, it was all messed up, overpriced as hell. She showed up super late, very rude, and apparently he said other people in line were talking about Gohan's voice actor and said the same thing. It wasn't like a one-time thing. It was she's not someone you want to meet. And then Goku was actually late that day as well. He was late Saturday. And then you're saying Vegeta's VA is the
Yeah.
problem too. It seems like a lot of people are not having good experiences meeting the Dragon Ball VAs. I don't know what's up there, but I've yet to hear a good experience, which is actually fucking crazy.
Yeah, and
That's
like
actually really weird.
I would imagine that it does bring like a certain number of people, you know what I mean? Because like
Hmm.
you probably got to be in the mix in anime if you're going to see somebody like Chainsaw Man or My Hero or whatever. Like Dragon Ball, I feel like is a lot broader and like more common to people. You know what I mean? Like I could see how that would bring like a ton more people. So like I don't know.
But
It doesn't.
Luffy's VA, Jiraiya's VA, I had great
That's
experiences with them,
true.
and we never had any bad problems with them. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, Luffy's VA, like that's fucking One Piece
Yeah,
that
she
no
was
one shuts up
awesome.
about. You know what I mean? Oh, it was the best. Yeah. Again, I have
Yeah,
hearts on
and
mine,
being
so don't worry about it.
yeah, and being on time is huge too. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I try my best to be on time, but every now and again, SEPTA gets you or the train's late or whatever. But yeah, it's tough, but definitely wouldn't want to make it like worse than it already is if you're already bummed out having
Yeah.
a having an expletive filled tirade with a VA.
Yeah, dude, I feel bad, but like, yeah, it's crazy. Apparently, Dragon Ball VAs, it's just something's up with that. That's so weird. It's actually kind of crazy,
Bad
but
luck.
yeah, guys, but don't like curse them out at the same time. Don't fucking go after them
There,
because they need
yeah.
to catch a flight. Like it's not something. It's not like they have to drive back, and it's just like or something like that. Like there's nothing they can do. It sucks, but you got to look at it from their point of view as well. Um, but yeah, this week in anime was actually insane. I do got to apologize though. It is my fault. The anime gods have blessed me with getting a few of these animes to have a week off. My Hero Academia did not have an episode this week. Neither did Wistoria. I started One Piece, okay, and I've been
Oh
binging it.
yeah.
So like, today I watched like these three animes we're about to talk about. Why does nobody remember me in this world? Elusive Samurai and Alya hides her feelings in Russian. And the anime guys were like, "Hey man, it would have been too much for you to watch two more." So we took them off this week to give me some extra time. I appreciate it, but that might have screwed you guys over, and I apologize. I apologize, but when I'm looking for the One Piece, I need some extra time. Okay, you know what I mean?
Fair, very valid.
Yeah, like dude, how many episodes do you think I watched in the past 3 days?
In 3 days, that's really good. All right, this is a good question. 150? You round like 120, 150?
Shit, am I not doing good enough? I'm at like 94.
All right, that's good. Now I just took a guess.
I feel like I'm sleeping on it now. I thought you were gonna be like, oh, like 50 or something. Like I feel like I gotta work harder now. I feel like I'm sleeping at the wheel here.
Is that Arlong Park? Are you up to that?
Oh, I surpassed that, dude. I'm in the Grand Line or whatever it's called.
Right on,
They
dude.
just
Hell
got to
yeah.
Vivi's island.
Oh, Alabasta.
Yeah, we just got there. We sort of for like half a second met Ace,
All right, sweet. Ah, my boy. Love Ace.
bro. Dude, One Piece is good. One Piece is fucking good, and I love
I'm
Chopper.
glad you enjoyed. Yeah, Chopper and his like intro arc to the crew is really cool.
So good.
I'm glad you like the beginning because sometimes like people bash on the animation or whatever, but there's a lot of good like story content.
Yeah,
And Alabasta is one of the best arcs, I think. It's great.
like who's bashing on the animation? I think the animation's great. Like if the animation is that for the rest of it, I'm completely fine. The only thing I don't like is the square instead of the rectangle. It doesn't fill the screen. But like other than that, like I doesn't even
Yeah.
bother me that much. It's not something I really like care about. I think the animation's great. And like honestly, like we're gonna be doing so much goddamn content on One Piece when I finish that. But like maybe even Big Three stuff. Because I know you've seen Bleach, right?
Yeah, and then I want to say either the fall or winter, we're gonna get part three of the new
Yeah.
what is it, Thousand Year Blood War.
Yeah.
So
So I
definitely
mean,
stoked for that.
like One Piece is kind of like opened my eyes to be like I need to watch Bleach now because like One Piece really is like being 100 episodes in a masterpiece. Like these 100 episodes flew by. Like it's so easy to watch. It's so fucking good story wise. Like all these little mini arcs, like the Dragon Nest one that you go on, the one with the whale. Like dude, like the Dinosaur
Yeah.
Island. There's so many that it's like so good, and you kind of realize like they're the big three for a reason. All right, like if you're like I don't know how to explain it. Like they're just really good. Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. You gotta watch them. They're amazing. But yeah, let's get into this week of anime though. The new stuff. What do you want to start with?
You want to start with Alya, or you want to save that for the end?
Oh, we can start with that. We can start with that.
I feel like that was a heavy hitter. Like we're not even halfway into the season with any of these animes, and that was like coming out swinging. We got a lot. We got a lot in this episode.
Bro, like it really is starting to heat up. So like first of all, she bodied him. Like absolutely beat the shit out of him. There's actually like so many funny moments, which I think was really kind of cool. Her speaking in Russian has been something like that's been very interesting. He brings it up at the very end of the episode, where we're like gonna start at the beginning and make our way over like we usually do, but like she like speaks in Russian when she's thinking things. So like he knows what she's thinking. It's the first time a guy can understand what a woman is thinking. It's because she's speaking Russian. He,
True.
he can't read her mind, but he can speak Russian, right? So that's close, all right. It's manageable, right? So like when she was like asking for help, like that was just such an insane thing. He was just gonna leave, be like, all right, you got it, and then she's like someone help me, like please help me in Russian. And he's like, all right, fuck, I gotta save the day. Let me put on my cape and do my thing. And dude, that was like really cool.
Yeah, definitely. And like, it's cool how they kind of cut back after that initial scene when Kuze walks in. How he's like waiting outside the door, and you get it kind of from his perspective too. Like, I thought
Yeah.
that was a nice bit of writing, and it kind of, I don't know, it makes it a little more realistic than just like, Kuze walks in at the perfect moment. You know what I mean? It was a cool little touch there. But yeah, the end of that episode was wicked. I was dying. You called her Drago from Rocky.
Yeah, well, it's because she slaps the fuck out of him. He goes flying, like he goes flying. It was insane. But that was like so funny. She's like, you thinking of other like? Because first of all, it's like the whole like cute like moment, and then he just looks up at her, and she's got that like sinister look in her eyes. Like she's like you thinking of other girls right now? Like I will fucking kill you.
Hysterical.
You know what I mean? And then
But then he
yeah,
like doubles down on it, and he's like honest. He's like,
yeah.
yeah, like I am like. what the fuck are you thinking, dude? Hysterical. I love that little scene.
Not to mention the girl he's thinking of is her sister.
Yeah, definitely don't say that either. Like
Dude, he
real
would
life,
have
yeah.
if he knew when he put the pieces together, he would have. That's the sad part. Like he's such a fucking idiot.
I know, and like he's so smart and like kind of cunning when he wants to be, and then we've seen it like a couple times in the first few episodes. Like he definitely is just like your normal teenage idiot boy.
That he just likes getting hit by her. I mean, that's what always ends up happening is that he says something stupid and he just gets his ass whooped. So
Could be
maybe,
a masochist. Maybe
yeah,
he likes it. Maybe it's all part of his.
it's all part of his plan. But yeah, dude, that was awesome. I thought it was so funny when like the baseball team and the soccer team's fighting, and they get it resolved by the baseball team gets girls to help them, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, I think we're okay with this.
Yeah, yeah, we could make this work. Yeah, the cute manager's okay.
And then the soccer team's like, fuck them, like, and taking our girls. It was like such like a
Yeah,
high school moment where it was like so fucking stupid.
yeah, and it's like almost like relatable, like
Hmm.
the typical kind of problems you would have, and then like when Kuze goes on to explain, like, oh, the manager of the soccer team's dating the baseball captain. That's why he was quiet. Like
Yeah.
being in the know and the gossip kind of like helped Kuze resolve that situation and like leverage his position. And like all you had no idea, which like if she'd been there for the last year and a half, like she probably would have heard, you know what I
I
mean? But
just
she doesn't really pay attention to that stuff. It seems like she doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly. That it just goes to show like what her problem is with kind of being isolated is that she doesn't know like information like that. It very was like a high school moment again where like the guys are like, "Oh, we can shop in front of girls." Like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, sure. We'll do whatever you
Yeah.
want." And then the whole like using the gossip from around school and kind of like knowing rumors about people's lives, being able to use that to manipulate the relationship, the situation to work out. And yeah, it was just pretty insane. The episode or the season's really starting to heat up, and it is kind of getting starting to get insane. I cannot wait though because I'm pretty sure next week his sister's gonna be back and she's just gonna fucking just throw a bomb right in the middle of this. She's just gonna be like, "All right, things are going too well. Like, we'll throw the grenade and see what happens." And I feel like the next episode
Yeah.
is gonna be chaotic because of that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And it feels like the story's like slowly been progressing. And maybe not even slowly is the right word. We've been getting like a lot more backstory. You know, Alya's starting to face her feelings and like her shortcomings. And it's like, all right, sweet, we're moving along. Obviously, we get the little kiss on the cheek at the end. And it's like, all right, yo, we got a lot of progress. But yeah, coming up on the middle of this season, I definitely think you're right. It's time for some chaos and time to put a roadblock in the smooth road that Kuze's been on.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing about when she kisses him on the cheek. He's like, I think he kind of like screams out at the end. It's like, what the fuck was that? Like, why can't you say that in Russian so I can like, understand you? It's like it's so he's gotten so
Yes.
used to her like speaking what she's thinking, but in Russian, so he knows what she's thinking, and he's like, oh, this makes sense. I understand what she wants or what she's trying to do and stuff like that. But like in the situation when he really wanted to know like what the fuck was that about, she wasn't saying anything, and he got really upset about that. I'm like, dude, that's actually like really funny.
Yeah, very good writing too. Like
Hmm.
it was kind of there was a lot of like unserious or like comedic moments in this episode, but they still like bring it back and like keep it on track, you know what I mean? Like they're both kind of like showing a little bit of their feelings but not like too much. But like it's cool that they like can have fun with it but still be serious. Like you're not losing too much of the story. So it's been super enjoyable. Through only 4 episodes, I feel like we've gotten a lot so far.
Oh, we definitely have. But yeah, chaos is around the corner. For sure something insane's about to happen. Just to
Ready for
mess
the
all this up.
mayhem.
Yep. But yeah, was there anything else you wanted to talk about with that? Or do you want to talk about like why does nobody remember me in this world? Because that has a lot to talk about.
That was crazy. Like I had to go replay that a couple times, like certain
Hmm.
scenes. It was like, damn, this is pretty cool because I feel like this is what episode 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3.
Like the first 2 episodes, we got almost nothing about the story. It was very like mysterious in a way, and like we got some hints for sure this time.
But we have even more mystery. It's absolutely insane. So not only did they get
Yeah,
confirmed that that one girl is all 5 of the races that is in this big great war, but she has other shit mixed in with her too. They're like, I smell like the celestial, like the angel, the spirits, the demon, the human, the beast. But then I also smell dragon and dwarf and all this other shit. I'm like, wait, what? Like, what is she? She's not just a mix of the 5 races. She's a mix of like so many other things. Like, what the? is she? Like that's absolutely like every little hint we got literally added five more questions. Like this episode was such a bombshell with like, oh, we'll give you a little bit, but now we're gonna show you just how much of a mystery this entire anime is. And now it's not such a straightforward anime. Now it's not just a, oh, he got the sword and he's gonna be Prophet Sid now, and he's just gonna go and rewrite history to the way it was in his world, and then he's the hero and they win and hooray. But like now it's like a whole like, what is going on? That girl's an absolute mystery. Prophet Sid, Veronica is her name, right? Veronica,
Yeah,
hot as hell. Yeah, but she said she's a succubus. I'm like, yeah, no shit. Um,
fitting. Yeah.
but like,
Did you have to tell us?
like we understand, but like when we saw that she's way stronger in this world than she was in any of the other worlds. You know what I mean? Like sure, this might be a different timeline where different events happened. No, this is like a different world. People are different in this world. She's way stronger than she's ever been in any of their timelines. Like she's different here. You know what I mean? You can't just rewrite it like it's your timeline because it's not going to work that way. Not to mention she knew Prophet Sid, and she even said a lot of stuff where it was like, wait, what? Like, is Prophet Sid some reincarnation thing? Like, what is that? Like, she said, like, Prophet Sid, like, code breaker, and she's like, world reincarnation. And he's like, wait, what the fuck did you say? And it made it sound like, too, where, like, he said it, and it, like, activated something in her, where she was like, she remembered, and she was like, wait, what? Because it was, like, immediately, like, when he said, like, Prophet Sid, she's like, Prophet Sid, world reincarnation. It's like, wait, what the fuck's going on? And then what is it called? The Last Riser came out. Like, what the fuck was that? And it said it was going to erase
Yeah.
her because she's going to corrupt the world. It seems like the Last Riser is someone who's like this god, like portraying these multiverses and just controlling everything. And if someone says Prophet Sid, who's not supposed to be in this world, it's going to corrupt this world and they need to be dealt with.
Yeah, it was like super intense that whole like back half of the episode. Like
Yeah.
they touched on stuff like in like one piece of dialogue. So I had to go back and watch certain scenes again, but Renee says like she's scared. Like Vanessa was never this strong when I fought
Mm-hmm.
her, and it's like, oh, okay. And like some of those moves she used were super cool in their fight. But yeah,
Veronica?
like yeah,
Dude, yeah,
like her
she's
explosions were
strong.
badass. Yeah.
I was like,
And
Mega
like
be reincarnated in this world. Nice to see. Nice to see.
yeah, very cool. And then of course they have like the scenes where it's like has nothing to do, it just cuts straight to her boobs and it's like, all right, action shot here. I was like, yeah, has nothing to do with this scene. We're just gonna give you some service here.
I'm just going to remind you that she's a
Um
succubus.
yeah, they can't let you forget. But yeah, as soon as what's his name? He says Prophet Sid, she had like
Kai.
grimaces, like she has like a yeah, Kai. She has like a real nasty look on her face, and then
Mm-hmm.
she starts like reciting kind of the same thing that the Last Riser does when she comes out. But she's also like you said, it activated something in her. She's also like awake enough now to like fight against the Last Riser, and we see like as she retreats back into this void, like she mentioned something about the corrupting the world and that it's like reincarnated or overwritten. So like you only get a couple pieces of like what might be going on, but Kai hears it and Veronica's obviously like pretty distraught about it. Even if she wants to fight, Renee and Kai, like she knows something's amiss too, which is like super interesting. And I think it gives a lot of depth to like an isekai, which I think as soon as you hear the word, you think like, maybe not the deepest story or just like, something quick. I was like very impressed for only 3 episodes. Like you said, the more
Yeah.
we're given, like the more questions we have.
And like the crazier it can become because, like I said, now it's not so straightforward. Where okay, he's just gonna write it so it's the same way in his world. It's super easy. Like no, you might not be able to defeat the demons now. Maybe forming an alliance would be a good thing. The whole idea of humans winning this war isn't necessarily probably feasible, possible. Should it even happen?
Very true.
It could be really cool if like what's going to happen is he going to keep his plan of like okay let's have the humans win and have world domination, or are they going to all have a truce and fight this what is it called, the Last Riser, right? Because that's like a person who's controlling everything. It's kind of like let's all join together and fight God type of thing. You know what I mean? But someone's fucking with this world, someone's manipulating stuff. Let's go after them. You know what I mean? Like we don't necessarily know the direction this is going to take anymore. Like what's Codebreaker? Because she said something about a seal as well, or sealed. So it's like
Yeah.
what's going on? There's so many mysteries where it's like you don't know what this anime is about anymore. It makes no sense because you have this girl who's a mix of all five races and then like so many different mythical animals or mystical animals. You have Veronica, who's way stronger than she should be, and she knows so much. Like she knows a lot. You have Codebreaker that, like, I guess sealed that girl, and now she's not sealed anymore. And you have all this stuff going on. The Last Riser keeps coming up, and first of all, the Last Riser sucks. That thing's getting smoked every time we see
Yeah,
it. You know what I mean? For something that like might be immortal and indestructible, like it just keeps getting his ass kicked by both Kai and now Veronica. But it's like, yeah, what's going to go happen now? What's going to happen? I think hopefully they're going to realize it sooner than later. You know, the typical main character not like picking up the pieces together, real quick. But hopefully they notice soon that like, hey, like this isn't the same as my world. It's not like just a couple events have changed. You know, I have to go about this differently. So maybe making alliances is going to be something I need to do. Maybe taking a different approach is something I'm going to need to do. Instead of just thinking like, oh yeah, we've defeated demons before. This is how we did it in my world. We can just do it here. That's might not be the case anymore. The heroes all
yeah,
might be stronger. My bad.
and- yeah. No, it's a very good point, and like I think it makes it more interesting too, because like
Hmm.
if I had to guess, I would say yeah, Kai tries to like broker some kind of ceasefire, like a deal. Like I don't know if Veronica and the demons will want to work together with the humans, but like we'll agree to stop fighting to achieve this common goal and figure out what's going on or fight the last riser. But it'll also be super interesting to see how Rene fits in. Because obviously she's like pretty OP if she has a mix of all these like legendary races and creatures and stuff. Like there's got to be some payoff with that. So I'm interested to see how she fits in and kind of the role she plays, like besides Kai. Because obviously she's like somewhat attached to him for saving her, but also like she doesn't want him to die. So like that duo, it'll be cool to see how they fit in. And also, what happens to Jean? Because she said, or the demon says that she's using like her life force every time she fights with that elven armor underneath. So kind of like how, how that all plays out or how that fits in. Like their main weapon against the demons is actually like working against them in a way too.
Yeah, so I think that the girl that he saved is actually the key to it all because she was never once mentioned in his world. You know, we talk about Prophet Sid being this big mystery, but really she's the mystery, but she's not known in any world. She's been trapped in the second one for like the whole time, and her idea of what her world is Kai's old world. It seems like, she was just trapped before Kai came around. So I think that she's really the key to it all. I think that's gonna be really insane. I think the Last Riser is going to end up being the main villain, but it's kind of like how's this all going to transpire and come about. It's also kind of crazy because like you talk about isekais and like I feel like now it's not hard to make a good isekai. Just don't follow the stereotypical OP main character with harem. You know what I mean? Have a little bit of
Yes,
depth, and then
yeah.
there you go. You have a solid anime. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is a great anime where it's gonna be like there's a ton of mystery and you can do a ton of different things. You know, it's all over the place and it can be completely chaotic and just be like really, really good if they don't shit the bed. But yeah, I think that could be amazing. And yeah, that one girl, his childhood best friend, using magic items. Apparently, if you can't use magic, uses your life force. So I wonder what's gonna happen when he finds it out because I don't necessarily think it's her armor. I think it's the bow she used, which was fucking sick, by the
That
way.
was super cool.
That was awesome. So like there's a whole like again, like every time they give you a little taste, it's like wait, what? You know what I mean? Like her using her life force, she's going to be dying soon. Even with her assistant, I think something's up with her assistant where I got the demons knew of her. They kind of brought up her weapon and she kind of like dismissed it, like, oh, don't know what you're talking about. Like, is there something up with that where she's also using magical items? You know, like what exactly is going on? It's so chaotic right now, and they're in such a good spot where they can make such a great anime.
Ah, dude, 100%. Like the first three episodes, they've got the ball rolling. They've got like the viewers asking questions, and like you're starting to get, you start getting into the story a little more and like get attached to these characters. So hopefully, like the next episode or two, like they keep running with that. Like they give you a little bit, like even if you still have questions or whatever, like keep diving into the story because I feel like they've set it up really well. And you're right, it's not that hard. Like they haven't followed this stereotypical isekai plot line.
Well,
Kai's like a
they
great,
could. We have to be careful of that. We have the childhood
yeah,
best friend.
it's
We have the
so
girl he
far.
just saved now. Like, it is potentially building. We do need to be careful. He's got the OP sword. I mean, like, it's
It's all coming
early.
together.
We're episode 3, guys. That's the thing. Episode 3, when you have an enemy that kind of comes out of the gate that hot, I start to worry because it always
Yeah.
kind of dies off, like most of the time.
Yeah, so hopefully they like continue to like use this world or multiple worlds or multiverse, like you said, to kind of like craft like a really good story because we have a lot of questions. Like if they just work with that, I think it'll be a great first season.
Yeah, I think it could be really, really good, and I really hope it does because that'd be awesome. There's not many like good isekais out right now where it's like, oh my god, this is amazing. It's more like, oh, it's pretty good. Like I enjoy
Or
it. You know what I
something
mean?
new that you could like put people onto, like, oh, here's a new isekai that's really good. I definitely feel you. They're they're kind of like all very similar in a way right now.
Yeah, so it'd be really nice, but yeah, I'm really excited. I really want to have some of these questions answered. I have a feeling too, like randomly they might get grabbed and go to a third world as well. Because if they're just getting moved around, like I feel like again anything could happen, and that could be so awesome. But yeah, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sick. But I mean, the Elusive Samurai.
Dude, so good. I
Bro,
fucking love this show so much.
the animation was like so weird this episode with the one dude in the beginning. His eyes had a multiple eyes in it. Do you
That
remember
was
that?
fucking crazy.
I was like,
Yeah.
what is up with that?
The
It looks
feudal names are
sick.
always like super hard to remember, but like the main antagonist, like the main bad guy who
Yeah.
fucking like is the traitor. Because like we've seen him, I don't know if it was the first episode. He has like all that fire around him.
Hmm.
Like that was badass. Like his aura, you know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
looking swagged out. Yeah, but he turns around this time and he's got like 20 eyes in his one eyeball. It's like, oh,
And
all
he's
right.
crying.
It's like it was like gruesome. It looked like the whole like premise of like some of these really beautiful shots and like
Hmm.
cool colors, but then they make the bad guys like so intimidating and like weird and scary. And like our antagonist in this episode, the dude with the bulging eyes, like
Yeah, that
honestly,
was
just
so
like
weird. So many times I was like, oh, what?
creepy. And like he bumps eyes with the dude from the shrine,
Yeah.
like the shrine. He's not a shrine maiden. I don't know what the
He's
male
the
version of that is.
priest or whatever his name
The
is.
keeper, yeah, the
Yeah.
priest. Like he just bumps his like bulging eye on him. Like they do such a good job of like kind of making him funny, but also like really creepy and scary.
And they keep
I
saying it
thought it was
too. So it's like,
perfect.
what a creep. Like, what a fucking weirdo.
Everybody says it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is great. Very good story writing.
Yeah, so going back to that in the beginning, that samurai, which was very interesting, is that like, is he possessed? Does something weird happen to him? Because the one dude who was looking at him weird, he's like, what is it? He's like, well, I've been with you since you were a kid, and your smiles don't look human anymore. And he's like, what do you
Yeah,
mean? And
like
he
his
turns around, yeah, and he was crying out of one eye, and the other eye had multiple eyes in it. And I was like, dude, is he like possessed or being controlled, or like what's kind of going on there? Because I also don't necessarily think that like he's a different like because when we first are introduced to him, he's that very kind guy that's very nice to the MC, and he was always able to find him and playing with him, and that's why the MC was like so like amazed, like confused, like it's like how did he betray us? Like he was always there for me, you know what I mean? So like I wonder if something happened to him.
That's a really good point. I never really thought of that, but just the whole notion that like there's a lot of like holy or like I don't know Buddhist kind of like
Hmm.
connotations to this anime, and it's like very fitting for that time period too. Like all the gods or whatever, like they haven't really dove into it much, but like I could definitely see something at play like that because he's like got that weird aura about him where he like comes off kind, but then they've shown him a few times behind the scenes to be like diabolical, and they give you those visuals to like really reinforce it.
Yeah, it's yeah, they do a good job with that. Like this episode was really sick. I mean, we're getting into the new game of hide and seek as well, which is just awesome. Like dude, like so many good moments. I mean, you can tell this kid's gonna be a great leader. You know, I love his subordinates. That one dude shooting the shrine maiden, fucking piece of shit. Leave them alone. I mean, shooting her in the ear and stuff, and the kid even says he's like yeah, I was like messed up. He's a piece of shit warrior, but man, is he good at archery. So like seeing this new game of hide and seek or like tag, is it is going to be
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely insane about how he's like okay, we're gonna play a game of tag again, but this time the game of tag is pretty much like espionage. It's pretty much like okay, you're gonna be spying on him and you're gonna try to learn archery from a guy who's actively trying to like find you out and kill you. And he's like, okay. He's like, some of the times you're going to be like pretending you're going to be hiding your identity. Other times you're going to be studying his form. Other times you're going to be like getting in close and talking with him and interacting with him. And he's like, all right, yeah, it sounds like fun. And he's like, the only consequences is that if he finds out who you are, he's going to kill you. And he's like, okay, like okay, let's do it. So seeing how he's turning war into a game of tag is actually like the most insane thing ever. And it's because it like makes sense and it's working. And then we see them have an archery battle, which was absolutely insane on horseback. And the MC gets shot in the head. It had like a protective thing on it, but like he's bleeding and then he's just smiling. He's like, "Yes, I love this." It's like, bro, he's a psycho. He's a
I think
psycho.
Yorishige, the shrine dude, the priest, he's like done a really good job at like also like fitting the story, but like crafting this like dire situation to fit Tokiyuki. Like
Hmm.
he's an 8-year-old kid. Like obviously he's not going to be like using OP powers or like cutting everybody up because he's just a kid.
Hmm.
But he's made it like less scary and like almost like play to your abilities and have fun with it. And as soon as like we see that scene where he gets like dome shotted, it's cool because like the camera rolls over. It was like, oh shit, what happened?
Like he got hit
And then he
hard.
and it's like I don't know what you want to call it. Like he goes into that like next level state, like he's like euphoric and like he loves that like line between life and death. And I just want your opinion. How did you think the CGI was in like the horseback scenes? I thought
Uh,
it wasn't that bad because people will always tear it up, but like it was all right. It was solid.
it
It was
wasn't bad.
decent.
There was a lot of CGI because there was a CGI with the eye, with the ticks. There's a
The
lot in
ticks,
this
yeah.
episode. Yeah,
That
yeah.
was
So
a fucking creepy scene too. Like, yeah, there's
yeah,
4 females and 2 males there. It's like, ew.
yeah, and then you have like the CGI versions of them. It just like looks like yeah. It was definitely interesting for sure. I thought it was all right, but yeah, I think it's like very interesting. Because you're right. He's the only person who actually like adapts it to the actual person instead of just being like, okay, here's exactly how you do it. You need to conform to the plan and the way to do things. It's not like, okay, no, we're gonna conform everything to you and play to your strength. And I think that's going to be very insane. I think the action in this anime is going to get incredible. I think it's really going to take off and take off fast. And we even talked about like having more action in it. And then we had this episode where he's literally in an archery battle with this dude. I think the gloves are going to come off at one point. It's just going to get really really fun and it's going to be really cool. And I think at that point that's when I said like the priest is going to leave and it's up to the kids and they're in active warfare and they're doing things on their own. And we learned in this episode it's not just going to be combat but tag's gonna have to do with espionage, with intel gathering, with all this other stuff, and it's like, yo, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a really fun anime to watch, and the animation looks sick, the colors look amazing. I feel like it's gonna be really really cool.
I did too, dude. I love it. I'm kind of like curious to see where Yorishige plays in. Like, will he stick with them the whole time, or will he leave once they get to a certain level of ability or like age? Because he predicted he'd be a hero by 10. Well, that's 2 years from now.
Hmm.
So like, how long will they like work on getting retainers? I think we have 2 more to meet from the cover or like the
Yeah.
yeah, like the cover on Crunchyroll. So like it'll be cool to see how they kind of come into play, but also like you said, there's going to be some like different elements and like maybe different enemies. Like it's still kind of wide open. Like what's going to happen, but you don't. Like I was not expecting an archery battle this episode, so I'm rocking with it. I think everybody should tune in every week to this show.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like we talk about sleepers, and we're pretty are spot on with sleepers. I think we've nailed a couple. You know what I mean? Like we're pretty good. I think Elusive Samurai definitely is one. Especially the more episodes that come out, the more of a different variety you get of the anime, seeing different kind of things. Like I can see someone not like in the first episode, maybe even the second, but like the more you kind of watch it, I feel like it's like hard not to like it. Like it has so many things going for it, and based off of this episode, do you think this is going to end in a couple episodes with him putting an arrow through that dude's head?
I don't. That's a good question. He's got to die. Like he's definitely not making it back.
Do you think?
But I don't. Yeah, I do think, or he'll like, if Tokiyuki wins this competition, I think he'll just be like, screw it, and do something crazy, and then they'll have to like fight, which makes me wonder like, will Yorishige do anything? Does he have like any abilities, or is he just like a fucking weirdo creep with a bright shiny head? You know what I mean? Like I do like
Yeah.
him. I think he's a great character, but he's got to help at some point. Maybe not be like an active fighting
He's
member,
helping
but
a
like
lot. I mean, he's the one who told him
yeah,
how
but
to
like
how
not
to stage
physically.
that whole fight.
Yeah, he totally put him up to it too.
Yeah, yeah, and he staged the whole thing where he's like, "Hey, listen, here's exactly what's gonna happen. Here's how you do it." And it was actually brilliant. It was actually a really good strategy. He's like, "Okay, you're gonna egg him on. Okay, awesome. Get yourself a point. You know what I mean? Then you're gonna have to do this." And he completely played that guy who's apparently like very smart and who's considered a seer who can see everything. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, like you played him like so easily. Like that's impressive.
Yeah, like that whole plan he came up with worked exactly like he said it would.
Hmm.
Which is like it's hard not to believe Yorishige to some extent that he does have some like foresight, some mystical foresight or whatever.
Yeah.
But it'll be cool to see like how he plays out these next 5 or 6 episodes. And kind of like how Tokiyuki grows or if he sticks to who he is and like yeah, like kind of like you were saying, the retainers in the side cast fill in whatever he lacks.
Yeah, I think he overextended his hand though this episode because you can tell from the laughter after he gets shot in the head. The MC does. Um, he knew that was gonna happen, and he wanted that to happen on purpose because he wanted that kid to like kind of like spark into that like fighting mode That, all right, it's
Yeah,
time to play mode. You know, the you're not gonna get touched ever mode because you're a god at elusiveness, you know, kind of mode. And I feel like what's gonna happen is that the next episode he's gonna turn it on, he's gonna end up winning, and he's gonna end up adapting his own fight style right then and there. Like we're gonna see him do something that's absolute batshit crazy. It's like that's it. That's how you're gonna fight. That's exactly how you're gonna fight. Because you're gonna be completely elusive. It's gonna be hard to hit you, and you're gonna be able to be very good with the bow. Like he's about to create his own fighting style out on the battlefield right next episode. It's gonna be insane. And but I feel like what's gonna happen is that like he wanted that. He's like, all right, I want you to like get in that mode. He knew he was gonna get shot in the head and do all this stuff, but it's gonna cause a lot of attention because you're gonna see this 8-year-old who's already kind of like drawing eyes completely shock everybody. And I feel like that's where it's gonna get crazy, kind of like you're saying, where like they might have to fight. Like the watching him, the spying on him is not gonna be able to work anymore because he's gonna like want to kill him or be very interested in him.
yeah, it'll be cool to see how it plays out. I'm really excited for the next episode, and like, it's tough to know. Like, I think you're like literally on the money with him like crafting his own battle style through these like each event, your like each fight that they
Yeah.
do, and like Yoroshige's not he is pushing him into these situations, but he's not forcing him to do anything. He's still letting Tokiyuki like, fight for himself, think things through, and like work with the retainers to like actually become strong and get that chemistry and stuff, which I think is perfect. But I think something will happen, and yeah, they'll end up having a fight, or like that guy will freak out because he got beat and do something brash. You know what I mean? He doesn't seem like the most stable guy, as
No.
evident by shooting the the shrine maiden in the ear.
Yeah, I was batshit insane. I did not expect that. I thought he was gonna shoot the cabin with the kids in it.
That's what I thought, because he had like looked way down there. You know what I mean? They saw
Yeah.
that zoom in scene. I'm like, oh, he'll definitely shoot at that. It was cool. Like
Yeah.
it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, I think that episode, I completely agree. I think that episode was very good. I think the rest of this season one is going to be very good. I would just worry about why does nobody remember in this world starting off a little too hot. I think Elusive Samurai is going to have that follow through. It's got that feel to it. But why does nobody remember in this world? That's one where I can see getting too hot in the beginning and then just burning out. So I'm a little worried about that one. But I think that, yeah, our hands are full this anime season. It is very, very good. So many amazing things to talk about. Was there anything else you wanted to go over and kind of talk about from any of those three animes?
Just like I'm confident because like I sent you a couple panels, but like the anime is adapted, I feel like very well to the art style
Yeah.
of Elusive Samurai, which I didn't read the manga. I'm just like looking at panels because I'm a dork. But like I always love when they stay true to like that art style, because like you can change it compared to the manga to fit whatever narrative, but like the colors and like the cool art and stuff, I feel like Cloverworks did a perfect job. So it's a perfect time to get on board.
It really is. It's awesome. I'm stoked about it. I'm hyped. Uh, Yeah, dude, listen, ton of One Piece gonna be coming next week. But whenever I do finish it, there's gonna be a ton of content dropping from us on One Piece. We just dropped something on Oshinoko, on Goku Loser Ranger. Go check it out if you'd like. If that interests you, there's gonna be plenty more coming. Listen, there's so much anime to talk about. It's really fun, but really exhausting at the same time. But it's a lot of fun. You want to
It's a
binge it.
labor of love.
It is. It is. It's amazing because there's so much you want to watch, and then you can't just pick. You know, you got to watch it all. So it's amazing. I mean, it really is. I don't know how people are bored watching anime right now. There's just so much good stuff out there. Something we didn't even talk about is Tower of God. I think if I wasn't stuck in One Piece right now, I'd be watching that. Season 2 is dropping for that currently. That looks really good.
It
So
does, honestly. I didn't watch season one, so maybe while you're on the One Piece grind, I'll sneak that in. I'll get that first season in.
let me know how it is. Let me know how it is. If it's really good, I might need to take a day break from One Piece and just binge
Hell
it.
yeah.
Right? Little quick substitute. But yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff out there. It all looks really good. Hope you guys are enjoying, and yeah, there's gonna be plenty of stuff coming out over the next several weeks. So hope you guys are excited. And that's it. Peace.
Peace.